It was awful. It was awful because I had worked closely with Lasantha on this newspaper before. I had in fact trained under him. The day that Lasantha was killed was horrible. I was first called, I think Lal, his brother, who is chairman of this newspaper, telephoned me. He was half crying and he said Lasantha had been shot. And I rushed to the hospital and watched him die.
Lasantha wrote this extraordinary valedictory, in a sense, predicting his own death. He wrote it in the days before he was, in essence, assassinated. And in it, as he predicted his own demise, he said, the leader and its staff will fight on. And he used this phrase, unbowed and unafraid. But that cannot be realistic. You cannot be unafraid.
That is the motto of the Sunday Leader. It always has been and it still is. But certainly we are not unafraid. This newspaper has been burnt down twice. Its presses have been burnt twice. We were sealed once. We've been threatened, assaulted. Lasantha has been physically assaulted once. His home was shot at another time. When I worked on the newspaper with him, together with him, I too received many death threats. We were in and out of court all the time. So, yes, Lasantha stood by that motto, and he ingrained in all of us that we should remain unbowed and unafraid. But that does not mean that Lasantha was also not afraid, or that all of us here have not been afraid at various different times.
Who do you believe is responsible for the death of your predecessor?
I believe it has to be someone or persons who are extremely close to the powers that be and to the president, which is why they continue to be shielded.
Where's your proof?
We actually have no proof, unfortunately.
So why do you believe that? And is it fair to say that if you have not a shred of evidence?
I say that because I cannot believe that our police can be this important that they have not been able to find a single clue leading up to who may have murdered Lasantha. That can only be if those persons, the perpetrators of that attack, are protected by the highest in this land.
Do you think the Sri Lankan people are on your side?
Our readers certainly are. We serve a certain niche market. It's an English newspaper, so we are certainly not as big as a Sinhala newspaper and reaching out to the majority in that context.
Most Sri Lankans are more concerned right now with peace, security, and economic growth. Are you really sure that they would back your call for international action and pressure against Sri Lanka?
They will not actively back our call. That is one of the biggest challenges this newspaper faces, the lack of action by civil society in that context.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. This level of apathy among Sri Lankans is something I myself cannot understand. Because as much as you say that yes, we have peace, economic growth and development to a certain extent, on the other hand, there is no freedom of expression, which is what this newspaper has consistently called for. We have also consistently and continuously insisted that we must have an independent judiciary, an independent police, an independent elections commission, none of which are in place yet. But whether these issues matter enough to the majority of Sri Lankans, I honestly don't think so. They obviously don't.
If you believe that, and you believe, in essence, that the Sri Lankan people are really not particularly bothered to fight for the things you believe in, I come back to our opening conversation. Is it worth it for you to take the risks you've clearly decided to take, accept the dangers that appear to be real, for a cause which most Sri Lankans don't appear to share?
I cannot give up that easily. I love my country. I'm proud to be Sri Lankan. I have every intention of continuing to live in this country. I'm a mother of 2. I want my children to continue living in Sri Lanka. And for that, towards that end, I think that I must do my little bit, however small it is, towards ensuring a better and freer society.
Frederica Jansz, thank you very much for being on HardTalk.
Thank you, Stephen. It was great meeting you.